Namaste. Where does this division of classes of society has first happened? It has first started in Europe and coming to feudal era, that is from 9th to 15th century, there were only two classes in the society. Those are nobilities, that means the rulers and the landowners, and the other is peasants, those are the workers. There was no middle class yet, but the middle class was born during the Industrial Revolution, that is from 1700s to 1800s. This is when the trades, the businesses and the factories have started rising. And a new group of people have emerged in the society. Those are like merchants, traders, shop owners and professionals like doctors, lawyers and teachers, etc. They were neither rich nor poor. From this, we as a vast human consciousness can understand one thing which is very important. This middle class is not an existential truth. It is not created by someone who gave birth to you. And it should not be the point, or it should not be something that should decide your way of thinking also. And it is not the individuals who have created this middle class, upper class, lower class. It was the systems who created all these things. And what are the systems who created, and who are the system who created these classes in the society? First, economic and government systems have divided the people based on their income, their occupation and property to structure the labor, the power and the taxation in the society. I am telling you once again, you listen, to structure taxation, to structure labor and to structure power. And this government system and this political system is the biggest illusion happening in the society or in this world, which is operating like something else. And this is the biggest illusion which is actually holding the human consciousness to reach its peak. I'll definitely make a series on this government and political systems after bringing you out of this middle class trauma. And thank you so much for supporting me for all these days, and because of you I am here today. And if you don't want to miss all these kinds of knowledge and wisdom for your life to grow, please keep the channel subscribed and stay with me. And the other is education system. These schools have categorized students based on their parents' occupation, their financial background and merit. And these kind of categorizations have silently created an illusion in the fresh mind of the student, and they have indirectly told the students or the fresh minds like, you are belonging to this place, so you have to think like this. And later, when the student want to break this kind of illusionary frames or these identities which are formed because of this conditioning of mind in their schools, it took their lives, and it is an uphill task for those people to understand what has happened to their life. And the other factor is society, and that is we who accepted all these identities and illusionary labels and repeated them in unawareness and in unconsciousness. And this repetition is a dead way. Why? Because when you repeat something that you doesn't understand, that keeps you in a non-existential cage, either you roll it this way or the other, you are still caught up, right? And what are the things that have caught you up within yourself? That is playing safe with life, avoiding risk and prioritizing stability over possibilities and choosing survival over growth. And these have designed the humans, especially the middle class, like educated enough to work but not to create, disciplined enough to obey but not to grow, fearful enough to not to take risks, and ambitious enough to keep running but never designed or never told us to stand still and become aware of this human intelligence and access human genius. And this is why fear of losing what you have is the strongest in middle class. And now, who and what is this middle class? It is not income, it is not money, it is not the size of your house. Middle class is a psychology shaped because of your fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of losing the stability, and the fear of stepping out of the scripted life. It is a mental conditioning that makes you feel secure, but not really, you know this? These non-existential and authoritative systems, the systems who need labor to keep their dreams working, have not only shaped the minds to play safe, they have made many minds to become choiceless. They have made many lives to become choiceless actually. They have even decided what life choices you should have. Either you must become an engineer, that too from IIT, or a doctor and become a slave of life and struggle with life. What has happened to this life? You might work, you might earn your food and just sleep, but you're not living a life of choice and freedom. I am telling you, this must be understood. Who are they? In the upcoming videos, we'll see they have made you choiceless. For now, we'll see what is this middle class. Actually, is this existential or is just a shaping or conditioning of mind? Now you might ask how we are stuck, how they made us choiceless. For example, if you want to experience life and know the intricacies of this life, what they tell you, they tell you you are from middle class and you have to earn your food first. If you want to create something on this planet which takes lifetimes or years of times, what they call, they'll tell you that you doesn't belong to that class which help you to create that. And if you want to study something that keep you starving for few days, what they tell you, they'll tell you might fall into the lower classes of economy. And they have not given any chance to choose actually. And no way they want you to grow in your life. Because generations have been conditioned like this and they have been following all these unconscious ways of life. It is very difficult for us to break all these things if you want to do something very new now. And we doesn't even know how to handle our own families and surroundings to attempt something that we love or we care for actually. Or we have to jump over the walls of our own houses and get called mad from the society and still we have to keep going. But I'm telling you, if we break these illusions of unawareness, these identities of unconsciousness that were created by someone who doesn't even exist, and if we can become a life of choice, we will definitely come out as a Buddha. And this middle class is a fear that has bounded itself, that has caged itself in fear of losing, in fear of judgment, in fear of failure, just because someone might judge you and you might starve for few days. That someone may not exist, and if it exists, and if that someone exists, that is only your fear.